Good evening and welcome once again to the Living with Purpose and Presence podcast. My name is Madeline and I'm your host today. So, over the past few weeks, there's been a lot of major developments across the world, so many disruptions that we are witnessing in our lives, personal and also in the external environment. So, we want to explore this topic today about the relationship between our inner world and our outer world. So, what kind of responses are we witnessing within ourselves when things are very chaotic externally? Because, just recently we have heard about recent peace deal between Israel and Hamas. So I think this kind of developments offer new hope, and I hope that it continues to give positive directions and it continues to open new avenues of peace in this part of the world. But also in other parts of the world, like in Southeast Asia, we've heard about the earthquake in the Philippines, and it has, creating a lot of chaos externally and internally. So there's a lot of things to deal with, and I'm delighted that today our special guest, Ms. Maria Dulce Rocha.
Yes.
She has been practicing meditation for 14 to 15 years now. And so we're going to explore together this dynamic between our inner world and our outer world. So Dulce, is it correct, Dulce or Dulce?
It doesn't matter. It will always be me. That's what I usually say.
Dulce, as I know in Spanish, is sweet.
Yes.
But Dulce is from Portugal as well.
So but it means the same.
The same, yeah. So sweetness. So we have a sweet conversation today, Dulce.
Hopefully, yeah.
And she has come to Dubai for the past few months now. She has opened a new chapter in her journey, and she's moved here. So welcome also to you on that. I hope you are appreciating and liking the both the opportunities and challenges that Dubai has to offer.
A lot, both.
So let me start with you on that. Before you came to Dubai, you have already been practicing Raj Yoga.
Definitely.
So how was the experience so far for the last 14 years?
Amazing. It's one of the situations that you feel you are very blessed. We are all blessed, but we have really to choose the right track. And the right track, there is no wrong track, but it's a gross way to say. It's the one that matches my nature. And this is a blessing because ever since I took the Raja Yoga course, it made all the difference in my life.
So were you taking it in Portugal?
No, I took it in London.
In London?
And then I understood that I had to go to London.
To learn Raj Yoga?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, of course, I went to London in order to find a better status of life. In Portugal, we have very low salaries. It doesn't pay all the responsibilities. Say again, sorry.
So trying to make ends meet, yeah.
Yes, ends meet, yeah, definitely. And then London is very, very peculiar. So it takes time for the integration in London is hard, as well as it's here. So, but I took already the scholarship in London. So I'm understanding the signals that I'm receiving here because I'm here just for the last 3 months.
Okay.
And it's still very, very, very fresh. But coming back to the benefits of the Raj Yoga, yes, definitely. One of the reasons that I went to London, apart from searching for a better quality of life, was definitely the chance, the really blessing of meeting the system of the Raj Yoga. Because I was already a positive person. I was already a spiritual conscious, because we are all spiritual, no matter what. When it comes the need, an emergent, acute situation in our life, everybody just goes towards the supreme, whatever we may call it. That is all about our background, but so we always
what was the defining moment? How would you describe that discovery of the beauty of meditation, of Raj Yoga meditation?
I was already doing meditation. I was saying I was already a conscious spiritual person, already practicing spirituality. Another current, another school of meditation. But I was also a professional meditator, facilitator of meditation for many years. But there was one moment in my life that I was already a professional coach as well, life and emotional coach. But there is always one moment that no matter who is facilitating, that person is also on stage acting in this theater of life. And so there is a moment, and we also need to receive what we usually give, the professionally speaking, or like by nature, and I felt that I needed to, it was a time for me to be coached and to receive someone who could facilitate meditation to myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the facilitator also needs that sustenance. And what makes you think it was with Raj Yoga? What was your experience?
Well, the experience was that I was trying to find, in a very, very quick way, I was trying to find the cheapest one, because my life was not really good at that moment. Actually, that is one of the ways for me to progress, is always being hooked by financial difficulties. It was things are
right.
A lot of karma has been burnt, and a lot of good karma has been coming through, and all of this exactly when I started the Raj Yoga. Why Raj Yoga? Because I was trying to find systems, any system that I could feel that it was good enough for me as what I could feel, and also economical.
Yeah, but in terms of the experience, inner experience, I mean, you said that you have been doing coaching and helping others.
Yeah.
But what was that help that you received?
Definitely, what I received, what I was seeking, was trying to find the peace inside. That I was in a turmoil at that moment, and I needed to. I, at that moment, was the one who was seeking to have someone leading me into the peace, inner peace within me.
So you have this dynamic,
some more truth about life, some more significance about life. At that moment, I was still a little bit like many times in a grief moments in which I was saying, like talking to life, why are you putting myself again in this situation when you know that I'm very economical, I'm very this and that and that and that. Why I'm always going through the same
patterns of
the same patterns, and I was not understanding. I was feeling humiliated by life. This is literally what I was feeling, and because I was in that turmoil, you know that when you are in a turmoil, everything erupts. Yeah. So that was really the blessed moment. Sometimes.
So when you were in that situation, you're going through a lot of things internally in your inner world.
I know. Externally
what was that kind of defining moment for you when you entered the Raj Yoga practice? What is that knowledge or experience that made you realize that this is it, this is what I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's first something that I've always practiced, talking straight to the Supreme, to God. For me, it's God. God fills my mouth, fills my heart. It can be any other word. We always talking the same. This is my belief. The Supreme, whatever.
So are you saying that when you were meditating, you feel and experience God's presence?
Definitely. Everybody may say. When we do, I've been talking with so many students of Raj Yoga.
But how does that define your experience? And how would you validate your own personal experience that, yes, I'm really feeling a different kind of power?
Yeah, because I had already felt that before. Since I was a child, I was communicating directly. That was my feeling. I'm even getting emotional because that's something that touches us. And since I was a child, because I was a very lonely child for several reasons of life, not saying this as a grief, as understanding. This is what Raja Yoga brought me, is like understanding things. So today I can see that everything that I've gone through, it was exactly to drive me into what I'm today. So everything is just good.
What was good today? What is today compared to 14 years ago?
How would you, God.
How would you differentiate? Yeah, how would you differentiate the moment that you were then? I mean, you said you were in a lot of turmoil, and how vast is the difference now today?
It's huge,
I mean, of course, internally we can see that still there's a lot of turmoil in the world, but internally, how would you rate the progress of your inner calmness?
Yeah, that definitely, it's one of the things that we learn. And learning is not only learning, it's practicing. Yes, that's amazing, because we need to practice so that it imbibes. It starts being flesh in flesh. It's being detached, lovingly detached. That's the most important thing that came into my life.
Do you practice that?
Of course I do.
How can you describe
I be here smiling?
How can you tell me what is for our audience, because our audience are not everyone's practicing Raj Yoga,
was there as
but they are interested to know. But just describe to me what is lovingly detached. It's a very unique description of lovingly detached. How's that happening?
Yeah, it's interesting because it may confuse, the word detached may confuse, give some confusion, which is like, oh, being detached is being jealous. It doesn't come the word in English now. Being, what do you say when someone wants everything for herself and not for the others?
Okay, being self-centered?
Selfish, sorry. Because I'm Portuguese, sorry. And then I talk 5 languages, and then sometimes things get a little bit funny.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, detached many times is confused with being selfish. Nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Being detached, lovingly detached, is being wise, which means Gaza is suffering utterly. It's better not to talk too much because I'm very emotional.
Okay.
But we have to talk about things, of course. But one thing is, can I go there? If I can, I go. Am I able to go? No, because now the drama of life, the theater of life, whatever, it's like a play. My role now is being here and doing this, because this was quite strong. What I felt 4 months ago made me in 1 month to come here. And you only have to trust what you feel. So being detached is this, while someone is suffering, there's one power that we can use. It's first connect with the Supreme, and you have to have faith. And you have to have done that so many times that you know that works. Connect with the Supreme. You don't ask anything. You just think for the connection and literally visualize sending love to that area. And that's what I've been doing.
But for yourself, I mean,
say again, sorry?
For yourself. I mean, we can see the world, we can see the suffering in the world, and we can give our wishes of pure love and feelings and best wishes that things turn out to be better. But for ourselves, how do we practice that detachment when there are so many things going inside our lives, and there is a lot of chaos also, that some thoughts are coming that we may not like? But how do we practice detachment in that aspect, like in our own personal day-to-day lives?
You touch a very, very, very accurate situation, which I believe is happening to all of us.
Yeah.
Because I've been churning a little bit with other people, exchanging and saying, have you been feeling this and that? And coming back to that situation, the detachment, I didn't finish totally that, but I'm bringing it into this situation, which is the same. It's like, am I able to help in that situation that I was talking? Physically, no, but I can always use the tool, which is focusing and sending good vibrations. And this works, because if we think in someone that we love, many times the person calls us, and he can be in Japan. The thought is higher than the velocity of light. and sound.
So thought travels faster, way faster
across
than when we think of something immediately, that thoughts and feelings reach
at the moment. It's accurate at the moment, really. And so if you think positively, like, of course, that is really a genocide, and in many other places in the world, Syria, Ukraine, so many other places, and so many others that we don't know yet.
Okay.
Because it's another matter. But so that means that you focus, you focus, but you are not a god. You are a person, and your role is to be here acting in your role. But you can always, and you should always, is hard, but it's good to think that I have another role in this life, a subtle role, and that subtle role is always having my heart full of love to give without being seen. And that means that I can also take that to myself, because whenever we're giving love, how many times have you felt like you need someone to cuddle you and to give you some beautiful words, and then you visit someone, and that person is in a crisis, and you are the one who is giving a word to that person, and you come home mentioning
about that
and you come home fulfilled, as if the other person has given you, but you gave. So when you gave, it comes back. So that's one way.
But you mentioned about the you were saying about giving, but I'm interested with this play between your inner world and the outer world. Can you describe how do you? We talked about detachment. We talked about being loving, but who is this inner person? Can you give a little bit more clarity on who is this being who is being detached?
Originally,
or connecting, or creating that thoughts, or sending that message of love or vibrations, as you mentioned about sending those thoughts and feelings anywhere else in the world.
Well, it's always us.
Who is us to you?
Us is essentially something that is original, which is the soul.
The soul, okay.
This is the soul. But this is considered to be the image of the Supreme Soul, because it has so many rays, such a power. But we all have, all the scriptures say that we are, how do you say it, centella?
Sentient being.
Sentient being, which
conscious.
Yes, and you are part of God. All scriptures say that we are.
Okay. Let's move to something more, a little bit more. But you were talking about the being that is conscious, the thinking. So I'm trying to understand the concept of the inner world, and who is in that inner world, and who, because that's the relationship that we have with our inner world and our outer world is based on an actor, as you said earlier. There's you play a role. You are an actor. So you're acting and playing a role, for example, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a professional. So you play different roles. But who is this one being that playing different roles? Who is this actor? So I'm trying to understand that in that inner world, as I know in Raj Yoga, is that there is that inner being, that light, that point of light, that energy that does the thinking, that does create a thought and sense a thought, the one who connects to the Supreme Being, the one who's giving that power, and then that's the way you send out that feeling of love from that connection. If you have that, if you are able to connect and experience that pure love, then you're able to give that to others. Is it correct? Is this what you're referring to?
That's totally correct, because it's the body has no intelligence. The body is just the carriage. The body is just the vehicle. And we have, actually, it's my best friend, because he's the one who carries my essence. The little thing that I was trying to find the word of the Supreme, whatever. It doesn't matter, or it matters, but respectfully, everyone addresses in a different way. But it's always something supreme, and we are part of that supreme somehow. So that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So the body is just carrying the soul, the essence, what is carrying all the history of my
being.
being.
Yeah. So it is the soul who is
my
detached.
mission, my vision.
So when you're saying about detachment earlier, so I was thinking about this. So you're referring to the soul being detached from the external environment, because inside, when we are inside of us, when we're connecting internally to our nature
Original.
as inner being,
Yeah.
then we are able to detach.
Yeah.
Because if we are not aware of that, like for example, you were saying about the things that are going out in the world, and there's just so much chaos, and you wanted to give but you can't because you're here.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much as a being. But from the inner being, from when I go inside, then I can connect to the other beings as an inner being as well. So you are seeing others as also inner beings.
Yeah.
So from that connection, it's a more subtle way of connecting rather than externally connecting to them. Because on the external level, there's nothing that we can do. But from the internal level, we are able to connect to other souls who are, going through such suffering, going through a lot of chaos, going through a lot of turmoil, internal trauma. Because naturally, when there is external turmoil, that also impacts us internally.
Course, definitely. And the person can be just near us, not
So what's your regular practice when things are in turmoil externally? How do you also experience that?
Silence, always silence. And that's through silence that we connect with our inner world, which means with our essence that is always there. Because originally we are peace, we are happiness, we are joy, which is the same, we are wisdom, and in purity. And purity mainly of the heart and of the mind.
So with all these faculties and tools within your reach, practicing Raj Yoga, and now you are in a new environment. You have come from Europe, you have been quite in some journey from your hometown, from your home in Portugal to London and then to Dubai.
Yeah.
So it's quite kind of it seems to me that you're seeking for something. And you have reached quite a milestone. You have your mother, now you are a grandmother. So you have seen a good chunk of life in Europe. And how is it today? And where does that lead you in your journey? What's in the plan?
Honestly, because I go frequently inwards, I don't have any plan.
Wow.
I was not meant to be here. I mean, I was not planned to be here. I was meant to be here without knowing
that you were.
Yeah. When I came back to London, I was away in Portugal for 4 years for family reasons. And when I came back, everybody was very happy, and they were all asking me, "Are you coming for good?" I said, "I don't know. Only the Supreme knows. Only the Supreme knows." Because when I went to Portugal, in my mind, I was going there for good. And naturally, I came back to London. So I'm really a totally free soul. I'm really foot on land, I may say, in whatever I'm doing. But I don't know what I'm going to be.
So, how do you see the future then?
Well, the only thing I can say is that I have the faith that the future is going to be as good as it's going to be. But I'm not really doing many plans. But I have a plan, of course. I'm not living every day like...
How do you balance that? Because people say that, it's always a kind of a dilemma for people that, go with the flow or be in the flow.
Totally.
What's the difference?
Well, I think it's the same. Going with the flow or being in the flow is practically the same. You just are so flexible that you accept whatever comes. And that's been my life. Honestly, I can't tell you differently. But of course I have a plan. Of course, what can I say? I'm in a company being a real estate consultant. And up to now, up to last week, nothing was happening. Everything was colliding, falling apart. There were so many times I was saying, "What am I doing here?" And I said, "You shut up. You don't say that, because you know that you are here for some reason. It will be revealed." And this week, things turned over. I just quit from being a little bit.
What do you think is that quality that makes you? What is it that makes you stick with that? Because we all have our natural qualities, but to be able to really navigate through that, uncertainty of not knowing, but also going through the whole process without, creating a lot of fear inside. How would you say?
Security, anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the quality you think?
Going to silence, always. Someone has said something that really touched me in a negative way, because the person is full of anger or full of whatever is the problem that the person has. Just go into silence and send love to that person.
I think you have a lot of faith.
I have a lot of faith
because
since I was
easy.
a child.
It's not easy to be jumping into or embarking into a new journey.
I have a legacy.
Without that kind of faith that things will work out for the best.
Yeah, faith is a very strong structure in my life, but I have to be fair. I had a very strong legacy left by my father, who was always trying to find a better life, and we were always moving from town to town. So I brought that legacy from him. So I'm not alone, and I'm not unique. There's a lot of people doing their best. This is my journey, and I love it, and that's it. But a lot of faith.
Thank you, Dulce. It's been
Thank you, Madeline.
Quite half an hour already in our discussion.
It doesn't feel like
we had been in, from the outer chaos to the inner chaos, to navigating that understanding of detachment. And I appreciate that your thoughts about being loving and detached and how to manage that inner turmoil. Thank you for sharing your insights today, and we hope you join us again next week for another new experience.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.